No carbs. I just find that so weird.
Vegan diets require excessive planning and effort.
They do. They do. It has low fat and it has low
carb,
carbohydrate
yes.
and no cholesterol.
My sister and I were walking down the memory lane the other day. Our grandma used to tell us how women back then overcame issues. A little cold means reaching for ginger, an upset tummy, reach out for hing or ajwain. And if a woman is struggling with infertility issues, put her on a diet minus rice and focus on veggies and proteins. Now, even though this may sound like an old-time myth, we've got actual scientific research now showing how a diet low in carbohydrates, low in sugar, and high in leafy vegetables and proteins leads to a better management when it comes to something called PCOD, which is one of the biggest fertility issues faced by women today. Even back then, our ancestors knew that our tasty food can do a lot more than just nourish us. It can heal us with just the right ingredients. Hi, I'm Dr. Preeti and welcome back to the Pretty Healthy Show. I'm a practicing physician, a yoga practitioner, and an ardent supporter of using food as more than just fuel. Food for me heals. It's always been healing. In my practice, I've helped people feel better by just changing their diets. There's bounty of vitamins, minerals, unbeatable nutrients for you on every plate of food you eat. If you use food as medicine, you're less likely to be using medicine as food. So what's the recipe for a restorative meal? Is it in the newest diet trend? Is it in those good versus bad foods that pop up every few years? Worth more than a thought, right? Today's theme of healing through food is so perfect for today's guest. She brings along oodles of laughter, love, and a whole lot of Bollywood charm wherever she goes. She starred in a string of blockbusters in Hindi, Marathi, Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, Kannada, showcasing her natural humor and charm. Just as popular as she is, she's also known for her down-to-earth approachability. And that's what keeps this actor, mother, entrepreneur real. Please welcome superstar Genelia Deshmukh. Thank you, Genelia, for being on the show.
Thank you so much.
I'm so excited to have you.
No, thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
And before we start, congratulations on the success of your home production.
Thank you.
Movie
Wade.
Right?
Yes.
What does it mean?
Madness.
Yeah. Okay.
So madness in love, madness in life.
And it's in Marathi.
It is in Marathi, but it is dubbed in Hindi on Hotstar.
So, okay, so I will watch it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
All right. And so you acted in the film and you were the producer and Pritesh acted in the film.
Yes.
He was the director.
Yeah, it was my film after 10 years.
Yes, so, I was going to ask you that.
Yes, it's been a while, but it was nice to have it in my production.
Yes.
So it felt easier. Actually, it's an oxymoron because while it was Ritesh's first debut and, you know, we were all trying to do our little parts, and my debut film in Marathi. So various emotions, various feelings, but I'm glad it turned out the way it did.
Yes.
And by God's grace, we've got a lot of love and a lot of appreciation. And I think more than anything, it is that connect which makes you feel happy as an actor and a producer.
Gratifying feeling.
Yes, this absolute
that
gratitude.
I did something.
Yes.
Coming to our topic of health, Genelia, I see that you've done a course in nutrition in Cornell, at Cornell University.
Yes.
Yeah, was that before acting or was that after? Like, how did you get into it?
I was a non-vegetarian and somewhere in 2017, I wanted to make the switch to vegetarian. But I turned vegetarian for very personal reasons, and you know, one of those mannats where you want to give up things that you like, not a conscious.
So it was more spiritual, religious.
It was more that zone. But when I gave it up, you know, as a mum, you always want something that is, in your opinion, that is the best for your children. At that point in time, there were these various things about plant-based diet and about gluten-free and about, you know, there was a whole lot of things happening, and I would get confused every single day. I would be like, "Arey, this only I read yesterday was good. Now today it's not good."
Yeah, different things every day.
So I was going crazy because I was a non-vegetarian trying to figure out vegetarian food, because initially for me vegetarian food meant only paneer and potato. Like, you know, it wasn't But having said that, the minute I turned vegetarian, I fell in love with vegetarian food. You know, actually non-vegetarian food is only chicken and, but you know, it's that kind of zone. But vegetarian food has a whole
so much
variety to it, which we don't know. But yeah, then I wanted to know what plant-based food was, because in my heart wanted to give up dairy. I was an animal lover and I couldn't give up my meat. I just wanted to know what this was, and I said I'll do it the right way if I do it.
Learn it.
I won't let it be a fad or something that, you know, I've heard today and I'm going to follow it today, and then tomorrow I'll hear something else and follow it. So I said I'll study this and I'll figure out whether it works for me or not. I said the only way to do it is to study at, you know, one of the top institutes that do enough of research
and do it the right way.
In the right way. So when I enrolled for the Cornell, the first nutrition course that I did on plant-based diet, I was zapped by what was going on, by the kind of research they had, and there would be a chapter that would come every day, and it would have you had to give an exam every day, and it was this. It felt like I was in school again, but it felt amazing because every minute that I thought something was right or wrong, there was a different perception to it. There was a different dialogue. There was a discussion. So, so I did that course, and then I realized that I want a little more. So I did another course. So I did 2 courses back to back at the Cornell University, and then I realized that this is the path that I want to take. So it was something that I went through to take that path.
Got it. Yeah. So are you a vegan or are you a vegetarian?
So I'm a vegan. I like to say that I'm more plant-based than a vegan. But,
Got it.
But I am vegan, yeah. I don't have any dairy. I don't have any animal products. Dietarily, I'm totally vegan. Every day I realize that something is not vegan. So I try, and I don't wear silk. I wear imitation silk. I don't wear leather at all. So every day my lifestyle gets better and one step closer to being where no animal products
close
are
to the nature, cruelty-free kind of life.
Yes.
Excellent. Tell me about Imagine Meats.
Yes.
I hear that you started a company
called it. So when we turned vegetarian, we went to America. We lived in America for a while.
Okay.
And while I was a happy vegetarian, Ritesh missed his meat.
Wow.
And I would keep wondering, like, he missed his meat constantly. And at that point in time, there were a lot of companies that had come up with, you know, plant alternatives for meat. So I got one of them home, and we are not a burger eating nation as much.
No.
I mean, we love our burgers, but we're more, you know,
roti sabji.
Yeah, we want, like if you're non-vegetarian, then you want your keema, or you want your sheikh kebabs, or you know, you want the kids like chicken nuggets and stuff like that. Yeah. So when I brought a bit of it home and I mixed it with Indian masalas and I gave him, and he was like, if this is what I'm getting, then I'll be a very, very happy vegetarian. So then we thought about why not at that point in time there was almost close to no plant-based companies in India. At that point in time there were a few, but you know, it wasn't a market that was developed, or it wasn't even a market that was developing. And we thought that, you know, why not take this up? Because we know as non-vegetarians how we miss that. And we also know a lot of our friends who are vegetarian, you know, would sometimes turn towards an egg or towards something just because of a protein content, you know. So we were like, if we can give something like that, because no non-vegetarian, in my opinion, I feel, wants to kill an animal. It's just that you're used to a taste and texture that you enjoy it. And if you're getting it with plant-based food, I know that 90% of the people, because I changed from that to here. So I know that if you're getting it as close to 90%, people will, you know, shift to it. So that's where the company was born. Initially, we thought we'll start with 2 to 3 products, but Ritesh said we should give a variety to people where if they want to have it for breakfast or lunch or dinner or snacks, it's all there. So we have our chicken nuggets and our burger patties, but we also have keemas, we have seekh kebab, we have butter chicken, and it's all plant-based. So so we did get a lot of people, you know, coming and trying it. We did get a lot of our non-vegetarian friends saying that, okay, we may not be able to give it up totally, but at least we'll give it up thrice a week, which is also a positive
good enough
sign.
I mean, good start.
Yeah, it's a great start. And then we had a lot of our vegetarian friends saying, butter chicken, though we didn't know we could eat at all. Because, you know, it is plant-based, right? So
Thank you for letting us have a peek into your life.
No, thank you.
And let's get started with our first segment, which is Heart to Heart.
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. So we all have a little guilty pleasure, especially foodie ones. What's your guilty pleasure?
Oh, I love vada pav. I don't know. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Like if
What's one food you crave when you're sick?
strangely, I don't crave food at all when I'm sick. I just feel like
your
having
appetite.
a lot of, I feel like having a lot of liquids or juices or like I just crave, like I feel more dehydrated. So I generally like a lot of liquids when
Liquids, okay.
Or at the most would be khichdi.
How about those foods that bring us comfort or cure that homesick feel?
So I'm a very achar person. So I like, in Maharashtrians, they make this thecha, which is of green chilies. I love that. And I love my theplas. I take them everywhere.
Theplas?
Yeah,
Oh,
I love it. Like I can't survive. I take it everywhere.
Is it?
Yeah. It's like a given.
Do you know which is the spiciest chili in the world or hottest pepper in the world?
No, I don't, but I know it does come from America.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It's, I think it's a hybrid Carolina Reaper.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's made in South Carolina.
Okay.
It's, I don't know if you've had jalapeno.
Yes.
It's 400 times spicier.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Describe Imagine Meat in 3 words.
Well, I think Imagine Meat is new life. I think it's climate friendly and it's cruelty free.
Okay, so I think that ends our heart to heart section. So audience, fasten your seatbelts because we're about to go on a myth busting joyride. Ready?
Yeah.
Yes. We cannot get enough protein on a plant-based diet.
Oh my God, I'm fed up of this question. It is such a myth.
Yes.
Like, I had a video which I put up today. I don't know whether you saw, if at all you did see it. It was a video where I I lifted 100 kgs on a plant-based diet. So it's a total myth. It's an absolute myth. Even a banana has 1 gram of protein.
Yeah, and we don't need a whole lot. It's roughly, I would say, 1 gram per kilogram of your body weight. And you can easily, if you put your mind to it, you can easily get that from plant-based diet. Veganism means we have to give up our love for all things dairy.
Yes. I would. Love, now that is something that you start realizing that it's greed versus love very often. Like I could give up anything but cheese. Like cheese for me was a big deal. I was a cheese eater. But then one fine day I realized it is my greed. It's not just love, it's my greed that I love it more than a poor child's milk, literally.
It's always our want and not a need.
Yes, absolutely.
It's easy to fix your favorite dishes to make them healthier.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So. Yeah. Can you give an example of some dish that you've improvised and, made it healthier? Yeah.
So, most of my dishes are converted into vegan dishes, right? So, like palak paneer, I do palak tofu. And there are a lot of people who say, tofu, no, it's just not like paneer. It's not supposed to be like paneer, A. But B, it can be really tasty.
I love tofu.
It's just the way you cook it. Or you marinate it. That trouble is what none of us want to do. We just want to get it together and put it together, and that's not going to happen. So if you just marinate your tofu with a little bit of black salt in the night, it takes off that little flavor that most people don't like, and you're good to go.
I agree. Yeah. It's something we put in almost everything.
And it is the first grade of protein.
Yeah.
It is in par with meat or anything else that people have protein for.
Yes.
It has low fat and it has low carbohydrate
yes.
and no cholesterol. So, why wouldn't you choose that?
Indian homes do not consume as much fruits or proteins as they should.
So, I would say it could be a fact, but it's just because of convenience. Convenience is the reason why we have stopped eating rice or stopped eating well.
Protein.
Yeah, like I feel it's a matter of when my kids are really skinny and people look at them and they're like, khana hi nahi dete inko. I'm like, no, probably they're fit. These are the same children. You keep pushing down ghee and down, you're like, have ghee when they're young. And then when they grow older, you're like, come on, lose weight. You just mess with that poor child's metabolic rate or system. Just give them a plant-based rice diet and they'll be fine. And even in spinach, there is a gram of protein.
There is.
In a banana, there is.
A lot of fruits, a lot of vegetables.
Yeah, what I would say is a bit of planning. We choose, like we'll choose so much rice and this much dal. Then where are you going to get your protein from, you know? And then many people say, I'm not eating carbs today, but they're having dal, like left, right, and center. I'm like, what about the carbs? Like, you know, we just don't know our food anymore, I feel. So I think having a balanced diet is the way to go. And having a lot of greens. See, kids need a lot of protein because their muscles need to develop. We need enough protein to sustain it. There's no need to overcrowd your system is what I feel.
Yeah,
like,
no, that's
you know?
true. Unless your weight, your strength training and you need that extra protein. But the thing is, you know, it's true that most Indian homes, we don't consume enough protein because we're not mindful of it.
We're not mindful. That's the
because you know, morning starts with some bread or toast or poha, whatever, and then afternoons, you know, it's roti sabji, and you know, so we're not mindful of the fact. But otherwise, it's not that hard.
Yeah, no, but you know, having said that, I feel the Indian diet is the most balanced diet. I mean, A, because there's a lot of cooking that's involved. B, because there's a lot of spices. So all foods are forgiving in this diet because, you know, every food can taste better if you spice it the right way. And I think after a point in time, you come to a point where it's not just spicy food, it's flavorful food. You can use your spices in a right way to make flavorful dishes. And like you said, mindful eating is extremely important. So whether you're veg, non-veg, vegan, mindful eating is a must. And
mindful eating and planning.
Planning is
plan ahead. You know, when you do your groceries, you plan. Plan your menu throughout the week.
Absolutely, and you're fine. I have a menu that's set.
Like a weekly menu?
Yeah, I do it for the month actually because because I do it a different thing for the kids most often. I mean, a similar version, like if I do palak tofu, then I'll do the next week tomato tofu, you know, like a buttery tofu. So I do a lot of that. And my kids, for a fact, they have a smoothie every morning that they wake up. People are like, poor children. I'm like, no, it's a good thing to do. They're like, how can you give them a green smoothie?
Bechare.
I'm like, why don't you try it? You know, then you're complaining about your child having constipation.
You're instilling healthy habits from the beginning, and that's exactly what we want.
All you need to do. I mean, today, if you ask them, will you have breakfast or a smoothie? They'll prefer having a smoothie just because they're used to it. It takes some time because it's easy to give a spoon of sugar to a child versus trying to make it like a date paste and giving. But once you get used to it, it's like a palate cleanse, right? Like today, if we like vegans, like the taste of meat. Vegans who have been non-vegetarian, they like the taste of meat. They don't necessarily like killing an animal, right? They definitely don't like killing an animal. So when people say, "Arey, y'all are vegan, then why y'all crave meat?" I'm like, we crave the taste of meat, not meat, you know? So there's these whole conceptions that people come out and misconceptions, I would say. I just think that planning mindful eating is extremely important. And there are a lot of dietitians who come across and say, you know, it's a festival, just go ahead and eat. That I feel is wrong.
I've heard that, and it just burns me up when I hear that. And
I'm like,
sometimes top-notch nutritionist, you know, saying like, that, and I'm like, no.
Why are you doing that? I mean, I'm saying everyone has that day where they want to binge, where they want to let their guard down. But there is one day that isn't a reason why people should follow a deep fried pattern or I mean, that's just getting yourself used to that, right? Like if you don't get yourself used to it, it's like people in the West, if they eat spicy first, they're thrown off, right? Because they're not used to it, right? So it's just a matter of acclimatizing yourself to the right foods is what I think.
Okay, I think we're done with our myth and fact round. You know, Genelia, we see these new trends come out every day. There's one new trend today, kal kuch aur aaya, parso kuch aur aaya, especially with the social media. What's that one trend you would never subscribe to? One, let's say, food-related trend.
No carbs. I just find that so weird. Like, I'm like, there's carbs in everything. Whether it's a banana, people just consider like eating roti and rice as carbs. They have no clue what's happening.
every year new books come out, good food versus bad food. And the one thing that's common is no carbs, and especially for vegetarians and vegans. So guess what remains? There's fruits and vegetables. That's it. That's all you can eat. If you want to be healthy, that's what, they say.
But a wholesome meal is with carbs, even if it's lesser.
But those are good carbs.
Yeah, those are
the carbs that we have in our dal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Our sabji, even roti.
Absolutely.
Those are all good carbs.
Yeah, like I remember when I was in America, there was this whole thing of moringa powder. So I said, let me Google and see what moringa is, right? Like I said, such a big deal of moringa. Let me see the crop. I Googled and I saw it was drumstick. I was like, this though we have every...
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's drumstick powder. So I just Googled and I said, seriously? Like...
Yeah, because I've heard of that, but I didn't know it was drumstick.
Like, even this whole thing that came out about tapioca and sago and that flour and it's gluten free. And again, if you go, it's sabudana.
Yeah, sabudana.
So
millet, that's a big thing these days.
Millet, if you ask me what is a thing to subscribe to, I would say millets. Like in my house, we don't have rice and roti anymore. Our rotis are made out of amaranth flour, which is again Rajkira roti.
Rajkira, exactly.
And Rajkira roti is again, it's a very locally sourced in Maharashtra. Like it's very, very, it is the food like Jawari, like Jawari and Rajkira. They are the crop of the belt, of the region. Now we have forgotten it. That's a different question. But if you stick, so I like doing it seasonal and regional. I like doing it. Like when I'm in the north, I like having their flavor of food. I don't like to confuse. When I'm in the south, I love the idlis, dosas, the podis. I love it. Like I think India just has so much variety.
It's a full meal. You eat idli and sambar, and there you go. You have your good carbs, you have your protein, you have your vitamins, minerals.
You have everything. When we go to people's houses,
I mean, good fat.
Good fat. Like when we go to people's houses, people are like, "Arey, y'all are vegan. What do we give you?" So we're like, dal, rice. You can give us parathas, you can give us everything, right? Like they're like, no, but that is boring food. I'm like, what is interesting food according to you then? This is great food,
So Genelia, I know Imagine Meats is your baby.
Yes.
But it's up against the giant meat industry.
Yes, it is.
So today I'm going to be devil's advocate.
Yes.
And represent the carnivores.
Yes, absolutely.
And give you 4 or 5 common criticism of veganism that you find on internet.
Sure.
And you can argue against.
Sure.
Yeah?
I'd love to, to the best of my ability at least. Yeah.
Awesome. And I'm going to add an element of fun.
Yes.
So while you throw darts on the dartboard, you'll be answering my questions or arguing against the statements.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Ready?
Yes.
All right, let's go. Veganism is an extreme lifestyle. So basically you're arguing against in a word or two while you're throwing the dart.
No, absolutely not. I mean, in India, you have all the regions that have veganism food with it being by default.
Humans are natural omnivorous.
Oh, no.
Vegan diets require excessive planning and effort.
They do. They do require planning. I don't know why to make that a bad word. Like whether it's planning or whether it's effort, it's a good thing.
And you need planning and effort to cook anything for that matter.
You need planning and effort to look good. If you take so much of effort to do that, you can just replace all of that by having a good plant-based diet. Like,
You're putting that in your mouth and, you live in this body 24 hours 7. I think your body deserves that. Veganism is unsustainable for the environment.
I don't even know how to comment on that. But anyways.
Oh, good job. Yeah. You got them all.
Yay!
Quite an inspiring journey from being a non-vegetarian to being a vegan.
Yeah.
And finding out all the benefits, all the health benefits.
Yeah. I mean, I feel it's inspiring when someone else says that, they could find a relation with our journey and tried it themselves. So that makes us feel
it's
like,
a ripple effect, right?
Yeah, you keep widening the tribe. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like I always say, every non-vegetarian turns a dietitian to a vegan. And every vegan turns an activist to a non-vegetarian. I'm like, why can't we just help the system get better? You know, share it around and make it a more wholesome place to live.
Thank you so much, Genelia,
Thank
for
you
being
for having
here.
me on.
It was such a wonderful conversation.
No, thank you. It always has my heart.
I know I'm biased, but this episode had the perfect ingredients for a deep dive into what wonderful things that food can do for you. Don't you agree? Everything sweet, spicy, and nice was brought to us by the entrepreneur, actor, and good food lover, who I'm sure has convinced you to eat healthier, live healthier, and take your food seriously. And there are certain tips I'd like to share with you. Eating adequate protein. It helps you maintain your muscle mass and promotes muscle growth when you are strength training. We also start losing muscle as we age. And after we get flirty with 30, it tends to accelerate. So work on those muscles. Number 2, 5-a-day approach, as it's popularly known as, could help reduce risk of chronic health conditions such as diabetes, heart disease, cancer. That is 2 servings of fruits and 3 servings of vegetables. That can get the job done. Number 3, before you embark on any kind of new diet, whether it's fad or not, please talk to your doctor or an expert first. That's a wrap. And if that made you think of a healthy feta cheese wrap, you're already tuned in, and that's your challenge for the week. No, not literally a wrap, but take your favorite dish and make it healthy. Be creative, explore a new way to approach your fave, and you know me, I'm just waiting to see how it turned out. So tag me on Insta, show off your culinary creation today with #PrettyHealthyChallenge. I'll catch you next time with an episode that'll get your pulse racing. Don't forget to put your health first, happiness right up there with it. Thanks for tuning in. Stay pretty healthy.